Have you ever lain down at night, closed your eyes, and asked yourself, where is my mind going right now? The room is still there, the pillow still there, the breath still gently flowing, yet something feels strange. The world seems to fade, sounds grow more distant, and the once noisy stream of thoughts dissolves like mist. It's as if you're leaving a busy harbor, drifting into a silent ocean. We humans spend nearly 1/3 of our lives in sleep, yet most of us treat it as an empty void. We assume the mind switches off when we sleep, but is that really true? Buddhism offers a very different perspective. Sleep is not disappearance, but a secret doorway that reveals the deeper nature of the mind. And this is where modern science and Buddhist wisdom unexpectedly meet. One observes the brain with sophisticated machines. The other explores the mind through thousands of years of meditation. Both, in their own language, reveal the same truth. In sleep, the mind does not vanish. It journeys through different realms, dreams, deep sleep, and the most profound stillness. Over the next 40 minutes, you and I will take a journey together. We'll begin at the moment the eyes close, listening as the breath slows down. Pass through the vivid world of dreams, touch the absolute silence of deep sleep, and awaken with a renewed mind, full of energy. This is not just a journey to understand sleep. It is a journey to understand ourselves. And perhaps, in exploring where the mind dwells each night, we may also discover the key to peace and awakening in daily life. Part 1. The timeless question. Where does the mind go in sleep? Picture a familiar evening. You've just ended a long day, set your phone aside, turned off the lights. Your body grows heavy, your eyelids close, and slowly the world seems to recede. The sounds are still there, but fainter. The worries are still there, but now covered in a thin mist. And then you wonder, where is my mind right now? This seems like a simple question, yet it touches on one of life's greatest mysteries. We spend about 1/3 of our lives asleep. If you live to 90, that's about 30 years in a state of non-waking. But how often have you truly stopped to ask, where does the mind go in those 30 years? Modern science has also asked this question. With EEGs and sleep labs, researchers divide sleep into stages: REM, NREM, slow-wave sleep. They observe brain rhythms shifting from fast and chaotic to slow and calm. Yet numbers, graphs, and brain scans can only show the surface. They reveal the mechanism, but not necessarily the meaning. Over 2,500 years ago, the Buddha and practitioners approached this mystery differently, through direct experience of the mind. In deep meditation, they discovered that the mind does not disappear during sleep. It does not switch off like a lamp. Instead, it transforms quietly, moving in a subtler rhythm on a more delicate level. The Buddha once compared the mind to a river. On the surface, there may be waves or stillness, yet underneath, the water flows ceaselessly. Sleep, from a Buddhist perspective, is simply another form of that flow. When awake, the mind reaches outward, clinging to sights, sounds, and thoughts. In sleep, it turns inward, quieter, less noisy, but never truly stopping. Why does this matter for us modern people living in a pressured world? Because most of us see sleep only as an on-off switch. Awake to work, asleep to recover. Yet many people sleep without resting, sleep without healing. We fall into sleep full of anxiety, enter chaotic dreams, and wake up more exhausted than before. The common mistake is thinking of sleep as an empty void. But under the lens of Buddhism, sleep is a chance to practice letting go, to return the mind to its natural stillness. If waking life is the busy stage, then sleep is when the curtain falls, giving us a glimpse of the backstage, the hidden workings we rarely notice. And when we understand that sleep is not disappearance, but another journey of the mind, we begin to approach it with new respect. Sleep is no longer just a biological need, but an essential part of nurturing wisdom and inner peace. In the next few minutes, we'll go deeper from the body's descent into stillness, through dreams rich with symbols, into deep sleep where even the sense of self dissolves. Each step reveals one truth: the mind never leaves us, even in sleep. It is always inviting us closer to our true nature. Daily Life, Part 2. Entering Sleep. From busyness to stillness. Do you remember the last time you truly heard the silence of the night? That moment when you lay down, your heartbeat slowed, the traffic outside faded, and your mind finally stopped racing through endless to-do lists? That is the magical threshold between daytime busyness and the stillness of sleep. But for many today, especially in modern society, that door seems shut. Instead of drifting into peace, we carry chaos into bed. The laptop still glowing, the phone still buzzing, the mind spinning with emails, texts, and unresolved worries. Eyes closed, but inside, the mind runs like a machine that never stops. Buddhism offers a deeply practical reminder. In the Sigalovada Sutta, the Buddha advised that sleep, like every aspect of life, needs balance. Too much sleep makes the mind heavy, like a man wading through mud, sluggish and dull. Too little sleep makes the mind irritable, tense, and unfocused. But the right amount of sleep allows the body to recover and the mind to grow clear. Modern science agrees. In NREM sleep, brain waves slow, muscles relax, and the body begins repairing itself. Healing hormones are released, the immune system is strengthened. Then in REM, the mind opens into the universe of dreams, processing emotions, sorting memories. A natural harmony between body and mind, if we allow it. Yet in America today, a paradox emerges. Many work 10-12 hours daily, bring laptops to bed, or binge-watch Netflix past midnight. The result? Insomnia, chronic stress, sleeping pills sold like candy. People sleep, yet wake more tired, more discouraged. The mistake is treating sleep as just an on-off switch instead of a sacred transition. What if we saw sleep differently? Not as the end of a day, but as the art of letting go. Buddhism offers a beautiful image. Imagine carrying a heavy bag filled with worries, pressure, and memories. At bedtime, you don't need to erase them, just set the bag down, exhale deeply, and accept that you don't have to carry it into sleep. Some practitioners even turn bedtime into practice. Some recite the Buddha's name or a short verse to remind the mind to release. Others simply watch the breath, feel the body grow heavy, relax each finger, each heartbeat. This is not just relaxation. It is the transformation of habit, from chaos to stillness. The real key is not how many hours you sleep, but the quality of mind you bring into sleep. A mind full of tension invites restless dreams. A mind trained in letting go opens into peaceful, healing rest. So what's the lesson for us? See sleep not only as rest for the body, but as practice in letting go for the mind. See it as a bridge, connecting the noisy rhythms of the day with the deep silence of night. And each time you cross that bridge, gently remind yourself, this is my time to return, not to work, not to worries, but to the original stillness within. And from that moment, a new journey begins. The journey we call dreaming. Part 3. The Buddha rested too. There is a simple yet powerful image in the scriptures. The Buddha sitting under a tree after a long day of teaching and walking, then quietly lying down to rest. No elaborate ritual, no sermon, just a human being giving body and mind a moment of pause. We often think enlightenment means superhuman powers, not needing food, sleep, or rest. But the truth is the opposite. Even the enlightened one understood. Rest is part of the path of wisdom. In the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, the last days of the Buddha's life are described in detail. After teaching his disciples, he did not hurry or try to do more. Instead, he lay down under a sala tree, dwelling in his breath, letting the body recover. This simple scene carries a profound message. Enlightenment does not deny the natural need for rest. In contrast, we, people of the 21st century, often treat rest as wasteful. How many times have you told yourself, "I don't have time to sleep enough. I just need to work a little more, push a little harder"? In America, the hustle culture glorifies sleeplessness as a badge of honor. The successful boast of sleeping only 4 or 5 hours a night, as if that proves strength and dedication. But look closely. The Buddha who renounced kingship, overcame temptation, attained supreme wisdom, still slept, not as escape, but as nourishment. So why do we believe we can be stronger than nature? Modern science confirms lack of sleep weakens memory, focus, the immune system, and raises risks of heart disease, diabetes, and depression. Today, the average American sleeps almost 1.5 hours less than a century ago. Instead of alertness, many become daytime zombies, relying on coffee to fight fatigue. Another mistake is using sleep as escape. Some sleep 10-12 hours a day, yet never truly rest because the mind is full of anxiety, stress, or social media obsessions. It's like turning off the television but leaving the static noise running. The body lies still, but the mind never rests. The Buddha's reminder is not about sleeping more or less, but about sleeping with mindfulness, resting, to renew, to refresh, to awaken with a clearer mind. That is the difference between indulgent sleep and nourishing sleep. The lesson: when you allow yourself to rest properly, you are not wasting time. You are investing in tomorrow's clarity. Rest is not weakness, but part of wisdom. So remember this simple image: the Buddha lying peacefully under a tree, unhurried, serene. Bring that image with you tonight as you lie down. Set your phone aside, take a deep breath, and remind yourself, even the Buddha knew how to rest. So I too can allow myself to rest. And when we truly grant ourselves rest, we come closer to a profound truth. In sleep, not everything is silent. The mind is still moving in subtle ways we are about to explore in the next part. Part 4. The 5 aggregates in sleep. What really rests? Have you ever woken up after a long night's sleep and wondered, what in me actually rested? My body, my mind, or both? Buddhism offers a unique perspective. Instead of seeing a person as a fixed entity, the Buddha analyzed lived experience into 5 groups known as the 5 aggregates. By understanding how these aggregates function during sleep, we can see more clearly what truly falls silent and what continues to operate. The 5 aggregates are form, rupa, the physical body, including breath, heartbeat, sensations. Feeling, vedana, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral sensations. Perception, sanya, the ability to recognize, remember, and label experience. Mental formations, sanhara, habits, will, underlying mental tendencies. Consciousness, awareness, the knowing that experience is happening. By day, all 5 aggregates are in full swing. Eyes see, ears hear, perception identifies, formations react, consciousness keeps recording. The whole system is like a city blazing with lights at rush hour. But at night, as we sink into sleep, everything slows down. The body relaxes. The heart beats steadily. Feeling grows faint, no longer pulling the mind around. Perception and mental formations settle down, no longer spinning as they do in the day. Only consciousness, the ground of awareness, remains, subtle and faint, like dim streetlights still glowing after the city has gone quiet. An easy image. Imagine an orchestra. By day, the full ensemble plays drums, horns, piano, violins, loud and lively. But at night, one by one, instruments fall silent. The drums stop, the horns rest. And yet, if you listen closely, one musician is still plucking the faintest notes, that is consciousness, keeping the music continuous. A common mistake is to think sleep equals nothing at all. In truth, sleep is not the total disappearance of body and mind, but they're softening, they're slowing down. That's why we still dream, still toss and turn, or can suddenly wake at midnight. The aggregates never fully shut down, they just go off shift. The fascinating thing is that Buddhism does not see the aggregates as the fixed essence of a self. They are simply ongoing processes, always changing. Sleep makes this clear. When the aggregates quiet down, the daytime me with personality, thoughts, emotions vanishes. Yet existence continues. This shows the self is far less solid than we assume. Lesson: if the 5 aggregates can pause yet life goes on, perhaps we too can loosen our grip on I and mine in daily life. Just as in sleep we don't cling to each thought or feeling by releasing them, stillness naturally arises. Try it tonight. Before bed, instead of letting your mind spin with to-do lists, ask yourself, of the 5 aggregates, what can I let rest? And then, like an orchestra slowly quieting, you may find your mind easing into sleep naturally, without effort. And in that balance, the Buddha's teaching to the monk Sona and his lute comes alive. Both sleep and life need tuning, neither too tight nor too loose. Part 5. Tuning the Mind. The story of Sona's lute. One evening, a monk named Sona came to the Buddha. Exhausted and discouraged, he confessed he wanted to give up the path. The reason was simple. He had tried too hard. Day after day, he sat for hours on his cushion, straining his mind like a lute string pulled to its limit. Instead of peace, he only found weariness and despair. Instead of giving him a new method, the Buddha asked, "You used to be a lute player, didn't you, Sona? Tell me, when a string is too tight, does the lute make music?" "No, Lord, it snaps." "And when the string is too loose?" "No, Lord, it falls out of tune." The Buddha smiled. So it is with the mind. Not too tight, not too loose. Tune it as you would tune a lute string for harmony. At first, the story seems simple, but it carries a deep lesson about balance, especially when it comes to sleep. In modern society, many people fall into Sona's extremes. Some are too tight, forcing themselves to sleep early, counting sheep by the hundreds, taking pills, growing anxious when sleep doesn't come, like a lute string pulled until it breaks. Others are too loose, lying in bed for hours with their phones, scrolling videos or shows, hoping sleep will just happen. But instead, the mind grows restless. Like a string left slack, the music never plays. Science confirms this. Studies on insomnia show that trying too hard to sleep keeps the brain on high alert, releasing stress hormones, making sleep even harder. On the other hand, giving in to distraction, blue light, endless information streams disrupts the brain's circadian rhythm. The common error is thinking sleep comes only through forcing or through neglect. In truth, sleep arrives most naturally when the mind is tuned just right, neither strained nor slack. Lesson: the key to restful sleep is the art of tuning the mind string. Give it enough discipline to turn off the phone. Create a calm environment, but also enough relaxation to stop over-controlling. A few mindful breaths, a gentle smile, a thought of gratitude for the day. Sometimes that's all it takes for the mind to soften, like a lute tuned to perfect pitch. Try it tonight. As you lie down, imagine your mind as an instrument. Too tight, and the sound snaps. Too loose, and the melody is lost. Just right, and you'll hear the sweetest music, the music of peaceful sleep. And within that music, sometimes come strange melodies, dreams, familiar yet mysterious, revealing hidden depths of our mind. That is the next doorway we'll step through. Part 6. Dreams, Windows into the Mind. We've all been there. You're fast asleep, when suddenly you're fleeing a burning house, or soaring through the skies, or embracing someone long gone. You wake, sweating, heart pounding, wondering, what does that mean? Is it a sign? For thousands of years, dreams have fascinated us. Some see them as supernatural messages. Others dismiss them as random nonsense. But what does Buddhism say? Dreams are windows into the mind, reflecting its deepest movements. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha said, "Mind precedes all things. Mind is chief. Mind shapes all. What we think, worry about, or desire by day often reappears in dreams by night." Dreams are not prophecies, but mirrors of the present state of the heart. In the Jataka tales, King Pasenadi once had 16 disturbing dreams. Fearing they foretold disaster, he went to the Buddha. The Buddha explained they were not omens, but reflections of the king's own anxieties. A simple yet powerful lesson. Dreams don't predict the future, they reveal the present. Modern science agrees. Neuroscientists have found that during REM sleep, when dreams are most vivid, the amygdala, the brain's emotional center, is highly active, while the prefrontal cortex, the rational center, quiets down. This explains why dreams are so emotional, yet so illogical. Research also shows dreams help process memory and emotion, acting as a nighttime cleanup crew that organizes the day's fragments. Real-life examples abound. Someone stressed at work may dream of being chased. Someone grieving may dream of a lost loved one. In modern America, with relentless work pressure and information overload, dreams of deadlines, buzzing phones, or constant urgency are increasingly common. The common mistake is clinging to dreams as messages from out there. The deeper truth: dreams reflect in here. If you dream of being trapped, perhaps you feel stuck in waking life. If you dream of flying, maybe you long for freedom from pressure. Lesson: instead of treating dreams as riddles to decode, see them as opportunities to understand yourself. A simple habit is keeping a dream journal. Upon waking, jot down: what did I dream? What emotions were present? Even this small step opens a dialogue with the deeper mind. In the end, dreams remind us, whether day or night, the mind is always weaving stories. If we learn to listen, we learn to live more consciously. And beyond the vivid images and emotions of dreams lies another doorway, where all stories fall silent, where even the self dissolves. That is deep sleep, the purest stillness of mind. Part 7. Deep Sleep, the Hidden Continuum. Have you ever woken up after a long night and thought, strange, I didn't dream at all. It was just an endless darkness. That emptiness is often dismissed as nothingness, but in Buddhism, it's seen as a profound key. For it is precisely in that complete stillness that we get a fleeting chance to touch the purest foundation of the mind, what the wise call the continuous stream of consciousness. In the Abhidhamma teachings, this is called Bhavanga Chitta, the life continuum mind. It is like an underground spring that flows ceaselessly beneath the earth. By day, we are busy with thoughts, emotions, memories, like ripples on the surface of a lake. But in deep sleep, when the surface calms, only that fundamental stream remains. The mind is not lost. It simply returns to background mode. Imagine your computer. When you press sleep mode, the screen goes dark, the fan goes silent, applications shut down. Yet the operating system keeps running quietly, preserving everything, ready to resume at any moment. Deep sleep works the same way. Surface awareness pauses, but the ground of consciousness remains. Modern science calls this stage slow wave sleep, SWS, deep sleep, marked by slow delta waves. It's the time when the brain releases growth hormones, repairs tissue, strengthens the immune system, and even cleans out toxins accumulated during the day. Researchers liken it to a nightly maintenance cycle. Without it, both body and mind deteriorate. And yet, a common mistake is to dismiss deep sleep as blank and meaningless. Modern people often pay attention only to dreams or worry about insomnia, forgetting that deep sleep is the most powerful form of natural healing. Worse, many sabotage their deep sleep with late nights, alcohol, or screens before bed, unknowingly stealing from themselves the brain's most precious opportunity for renewal. Buddhism does not see deep sleep as useless darkness, but as a rare chance to glimpse the nature of mind. When the chatter of ego, memory, and emotions fall silent, what remains is pure presence, an experience close to the stillness of nirvana. Of course, ordinary people don't directly recognize this state, but even just knowing that during deep sleep a continuum sustains life can bring peace of mind. The mind is not gone, it is resting in silence. Lesson: when you learn to value deep sleep, you'll change the way you prepare for it. Tonight, instead of treating sleep as wasted time, see it as a homecoming ritual. Clearing the mind before bed is like tidying your room before welcoming a guest. And as you sink into deep sleep, remember, it is not disappearance, but a return to your innermost source of stillness. Perhaps that's why the Buddha taught, one who understands deep sleep also gains insight into death and rebirth. For both are journeys of the mind, resting before moving on to a new mode of existence. Part 8. Sleep, Karma, and Death. The mini rehearsal. Have you heard this saying? Each night we go to sleep, it's like experiencing a little death. It may sound eerie, but in Buddhism, this is a profound metaphor. Every time we close our eyes, release the world, and sink into the darkness of deep sleep, the mind rehearses for life's final moment, death. In sleep, the body lies still, the senses withdraw, the sense of I dissolves. What remains is only the subtle stream of mind, Bhavanga Chitta, the continuum that sustains life. Death is similar. Breath stops, the body ceases, the aggregates fall apart. Yet a stream of mind flows on, carrying karma and guiding rebirth. A simple analogy. Imagine taking a night train. You board, fall asleep, and when you open your eyes, you're in a new land. Sleep is a short night journey. Death is the longer train that carries us into another realm. The common mistake of modern life is to treat death as an enemy to avoid, and sleep as a mere biological need. We fear death so much that we won't face it, and we neglect sleep so much that we willingly cut it short for work or entertainment. But Buddhism teaches that both sleep and death are chances to release the ego and learn to embrace impermanence. Many masters even call sleep the training ground for death. Before bed, They contemplate. Today may be my last day. I let go of everything, and if tomorrow comes, it is a gift. This transforms each night into mindfulness practice, loosening attachments, softening body and mind, ready for whatever may come. Modern science offers its own insight. Studies show that severe sleep deprivation leads to loss of awareness, with the brain slipping into mini blackouts. The body collapses, the mind drops out of reality. It reminds us, just as we cannot escape the need for rest, we cannot escape the reality of death. Lesson: if you use sleep as a practice in letting go, you will not only sleep better, but live more courageously in the face of death. Tonight, as you lie down, try whispering, "I let go of everything," as if this were my last time. If you wake tomorrow, it is a rebirth, an opportunity to live more fully. This is not pessimism, but awakening. For when you realize that each sleep is a little death, and each awakening is a rebirth, you cherish every moment more deeply. Life is not about how long it lasts, but about how awake we are in the days we have. And once we see sleep as a rehearsal for death, each morning's awakening becomes a miracle, a chance to begin anew, to sow seeds for another day. Part 9. Waking up, setting the sail of the day. There is a fragile moment few notice. When the first light touches your eyelids, the breath strengthens, the body stirs. You are no longer fully asleep, but not yet awake. It is the moment between a little death and a new rebirth. In Buddhism, waking up is not merely getting out of bed, but a golden chance to set the direction of the entire day. Like hoisting the sail as a boat leaves the harbor, if you set it right, the journey is smooth. If you neglect it, the winds of the world will toss you about. The Buddha was known to rise before dawn. He did not leap up in haste, nor rush into tasks, but sat in stillness, reflecting on his mind, nurturing mindfulness. For him, morning was not just the start of a schedule, but a sacred ritual to establish awareness for the whole day. In contrast, the modern American morning often looks quite different. Alarm blaring, hand groping for the phone, eyes glued to a flood of notifications, emails, and news. Even before leaving bed, the mind is dragged into worry and stress. No wonder so many begin the day with hurried coffee and endless to-do lists. The boat is swept away before it even finds its course. The mistake is assuming that waking is automatic, no preparation needed. In reality, how you wake profoundly shapes your energy, mood, and focus for the day. To wake hurried and stressed is like starting a race without catching your breath. Exhaustion comes quickly. Buddhism encourages us to turn mornings into mindfulness practice. This doesn't require much time. Just a few quiet moments to feel the breath, to notice the body refreshed by deep sleep. You might whisper, "Today, I choose gratitude," or simply, "I will walk gently today." Modern science supports this. Studies show that within 30 minutes of waking, the body releases the cortisol awakening response, a natural boost of alertness and energy. If, in that window, we shock the brain with jarring alarms or negative news, this rhythm is disrupted. But if we rise slowly, with steady breath and positive intention, the whole day benefits from that foundation of calm. Lesson: see each morning as a chance at rebirth. Don't leap up as if swept away by a wave. Instead, set your sail with mindfulness, with a clear intention. A day can begin with a single deep breath, a smile, and a small resolution. Yet its effects ripple through the entire journey ahead. And when we learn to wake with mindfulness, we realize something greater. Awakening is not only for mornings or for sleep, but can become the rhythm of life itself. And that leads us to the final step of this journey, learning to carry wakeful restfulness into every moment of our lives. Part 10. Beyond Sleep, Bringing Mindful Rest into Daily Life. There's a fascinating paradox. We spend nearly 1/3 of our lives asleep, yet we live the rest of the day as if rest were a luxury. If sleep is a lesson in letting go and being reborn, why not carry that spirit into our waking hours? Rest is not only for the night. Rest can become an art of mindful living, a way to bring the serenity of sleep into the busyness of the day. In Buddhism, this is called sati mindfulness, the capacity to pause, release agitation, and return to the present moment. The Buddha not only taught how to sleep mindfully, but also how to rest in the midst of daily life. A deep breath when the mind is restless, a steady step through noisy streets, or simply putting the phone down and drinking a sip of water with full presence. Imagine running a long race. If you never pause, never loosen your grip, you collapse. Life is the same. Modern Americans often fall into the trap of equating self-worth with productivity, believing rest is laziness. They drink another cup of coffee, work longer hours, squeeze themselves dry until burnout arrives. But from the Buddhist perspective, rest is not wasted time. Rest is the nourishment that allows us to live more awake. A close example, Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh once taught the art of tea meditation. Just sitting down, holding a cup of tea, feeling the warmth spread into your hands, inhaling the gentle fragrance, and taking one mindful sip, that too is rest. You don't need a bed to recover. You only need to pause and give yourself presence. Modern science agrees. Micro breaks, short pauses of just 1-2 minutes, help reduce stress, boost concentration, and support heart health. When you breathe deeply, your brain receives a signal of safety, your nervous system calms down, and your energy is restored. Mindful rest doesn't require much, only the right time and the right way. The lesson: sleep teaches us that letting go is essential. During the day, if we repeat this lesson, we'll see that rest refreshes not only the body, but also the mind. Pause from scrolling for a few minutes. Take a short walk outside without headphones. Slow your breath before a meeting. These are little naps for the mind, reminders that peace doesn't come from running faster, but from knowing when to stop. And when we bring mindful rest into daily life, the division between night and day dissolves. Both become a continuous flow of release and renewal. Sleep, to be reborn. Wake, to live awake. Rest, to go further. Closing the 40-minute journey. Each night, we pass through a small death. Each morning, we rise again. And in every moment of the day, we can pause to breathe, to return home. Buddhism reminds us peace is not somewhere far away, but right here, in every moment we pause, let go, and live fully. So the next time you lay your head on the pillow, or pause in the rush of life, remember, you are practicing a profound art, the art of mindful rest, so that every sleep, every morning, and every moment becomes an opportunity to renew the soul. Payoff: the gift of mindful rest. As this journey comes to a close, let's reflect together. We explored the timeless question, where does the mind go when we sleep? We saw that sleep is the art of letting go, where body and mind are restored. We learned from the Buddha that even the enlightened rest, and that sleep is not escape but preparation to awaken more deeply. We looked into the 5 aggregates, seeing which parts rest and which silently continue. We heard the story of Sona's lute, reminding us that the mind, too, must be tuned, not too tight, not too loose. We entered the world of dreams, understanding they reflect the inner self, not mere illusions. We touched the mystery of deep sleep, where a subtle stream of consciousness still flows as the foundation of being. We contemplated the link between sleep, karma, and death, seeing each night as a rehearsal for the greatest letting go. We practiced waking with mindfulness, setting sail for a new day with awareness. And finally, we carried that spirit into daily life, making rest not just for nightfall, but an art of mindful living. The greatest lesson: sleep is not only the rest of the body, it is a reminder that we can let go, renew, and live more fully right within each breath. So, what can you do starting today? When you lay your head on the pillow tonight, release the backpack of worries. When you wake tomorrow, spend a few minutes breathing, giving thanks, and setting your intention for the day. And in your busiest moments, remember, you can always pause, always return to mindful rest. If this journey touched your heart, share this video with someone you love, so they too may discover peace in both sleep and life. Leave a comment. I choose to let go so I can rest more fully. A small promise to yourself. And if you wish to join us for future journeys, don't forget to subscribe, for there are many more deep insights from Buddhist wisdom waiting ahead. Because you deserve not only peaceful nights of sleep, but an entire life grounded in stillness and awareness.